Hmm.
I'm in my fifth year of a business and civil engineering dual degree at Western. Uh, I guess where I'm from a small town. It's called Kingsville. It's like about 45 minutes outside of Windsor, Ontario. And yeah,
Okay.
it works is you can get I guess like an advanced entry opportunity at Western to pursue the a dual degree between engineering and business. And so when you get that advanced entry thing, you basically have to maintain a 78% average in your first 2 years and have some leadership involvement. And then if that is maintained, you are able to enter into the dual degree officially in your third year. You can also
Hmm.
apply to the dual degree without that advanced entry opportunity in your after your second year, or I guess you would apply in your second year for your third year. So I did my first year of engineering in a general program, and then I chose civil because I really liked like being able to like see physically what I'm building. So I liked seeing infrastructure around me. It I guess piqued my interest. I wanted to know how it was designed, how it was built. I really enjoy buildings and architecture too. So I felt it was a natural fit to go into civil. And then I started my dual degree officially in my third year, where I did an entire year of business classes. And then I moved into fourth year, where I did a split between civil engineering classes, mostly in the structural engineering area, and then a little bit of business classes. And then now I'm in my fifth year, where it's again a split between civil and business.
Okay.
Yeah, so in high school, I definitely really enjoyed my math and physics classes the most. So I naturally knew like I wanted to go into something science related. And then when I was weighing my options when it came to time to actually apply to university, I felt that engineering gave me, I guess, like the broadest opportunity in the sense that I could go a million different ways. So when I was in grade 12, I didn't know for sure if I wanted to do civil yet. So that's why I chose a school that let me do that general first year. But I knew
Hmm.
that by going into engineering, I wasn't really closing any doors. I could go into business, I could go into your traditional engineering, I could still potentially go into things in like a more like medical science route. So that was
Yeah.
my motivation going into Eng from high school. I just liked the world of opportunity that it presented me. Direct entry into a discipline in those two fields. And then I think towards the end of grade 12, I started looking more into like what the jobs would actually look like. I think
Mm.
before I was like thinking in theory, I was like, oh, this could be cool, but I hadn't actually investigated career opportunities out of it. And so once I started looking into the career opportunities, I realized that I wanted to have more time to make a decision. And so I wanted the general first year. And now I know like for sure civil was the right fit for me. And that general first year where you take like different classes from every single discipline helped me figure that out. So
Okay.
I think I chose Western, like I narrowed it down because of that, maybe in like March of grade 12. Yeah, so at my high school, we had a science Olympiad team. So we travel
Oh, I
around to
see.
different Ontario,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
different
see.
Ontario universities, yeah, and compete in different, I guess, science related challenges. I really enjoyed that. So I knew my interest leaned STEM based. And then I was also involved in high school on our social justice team. And our
Okay.
social justice team, like we had a little bit of an outlook on how we can, I guess, solve social justice issues from like a technological standpoint as well. And that was like a lens that I was very interested in. So those two things I would say were like the biggest, I guess, drivers in terms of my extracurriculars towards STEM. Yeah, when I was in high school, I participated in the University of Waterloo's math
Oh, I see. Yeah.
competitions. I want to say like they're named after different mathematicians. I forget the
Yeah.
exact names, but they're offered by the University of Waterloo, and they're like an international math contest, and it's basically a written test. And I competed in those a few times. One year I actually did place pretty well in them, but I really enjoyed it. It was a different challenge for sure from your typical classroom learning. I would 100% say so. I think with a lot of schools, your grades obviously matter a lot, but your differentiating factor is going to be showing that you have a proved interest in the field. And when you have more experiences like in extracurriculars, I think it just shows us like admissions teams better how you are like actually interested and committed into pursuing this full time.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say just where I'm from, I like it's like a little bit of a smaller town. So I feel like there was a slightly less access to resources and people who had done a similar path as I was looking to do. There was still definitely people who were doing the path I was doing, but it was just a little bit harder to, I guess, like access them because it wasn't like everyone around me was looking to do a similar thing. That, I was lucky to have a few really valuable mentors who did tell me about their experiences, and that's what gave me the confidence to apply to engineering when there wasn't a lot of people from my class who were doing it. But yeah, so I'm very grateful for those mentors. Yeah, that's a good question. So it's obviously going to be a transition. I mean, you're going from living at home most of the time to moving away. It's a big difference in course load. Like when I was in high school, I was taking 4 courses per semester, whereas in my first year of engineering, I was taking 7 courses. So I had to like change my time management approach and like my organization habits. So there's definitely an adjustment period of getting used to it, and that's always a challenge. There's a lot of new things happening in your life at once, but it's definitely the most rewarding challenge there is. The amount of growth that you go through in the 4 years or 5 years that you're at university is crazy, and it's genuinely a really great experience. Yes, I have actually. So since I'm doing the dual degree, I was I guess basically in business, there's a wide variety of jobs that you can pursue. But after my third year of university, which was the year that I did completely business, I decided I wanted to try something in finance. So I actually interned at CIBC under their capital markets division. And I enjoyed my internship a lot. And so I returned the following summer. So this just summer that just ended in August. And I enjoyed it again. So I'm actually returning there full time doing after I graduate. More in the finance sector. Going to be, but I also spent, I also spent 2 summers working in the civil industry, and it was a great experience as well. So yeah, I guess my experience highlights how diverse opportunity engineering gives students. So I'm ending up in a traditionally non-engineering role, but it's something that a lot of engineers actually end up going into because it requires a lot of problem solving, a lot of like I guess like quantitative skills, and that's something engineering students typically excel at. So it goes to show you don't have to always follow a very traditional engineering design route with an engineering degree.
Okay.
I may be biased because I've absolutely loved my time at Western, but I'm not lying when I say like 10 out of 10. I would never like when I was in grade 12, I was very much choosing between almost every school in Canada. Like I applied everywhere. I was really keeping the doors open. And so when I came to Western, I was still always like, oh, like considering the fact that I could have gone to this school or this school or that school. And I have never regretted it at all. Western, I think, provides a perfect mix of students who are really involved in extracurriculars outside of the classroom. Community, it's a really great community at Western with fantastic opportunities. Like I think the dual degree Western offers is unmatched between
No,
business
they're
and
different.
education. So yeah, in both it's a great combination social, academic, extracurricular lens. Western meets everything I was looking for. So I'm very happy with my choice. I applied to honestly every school. I'm just going to go up the four. When I applied to Waterloo, I applied to McMaster, I applied to U of T, I applied to UBC, I applied to McGill, I
Hmm.
applied to Queens. I feel like I'm missing some schools, but I pretty much applied to all of the major universities that
I
offered
see. Yeah.
engineering. Good question. Um, so I actually had in my grade 12 year when I had like received all my acceptances, I made a whiteboard in my room and I actually wrote out all of the schools that I had narrowed it down to like maybe three. Like I think I was considering U of T, Western, and McGill. I think those were like my top choices. And so I like made a whiteboard and I had all of their names and all the details about their program. And for me, I hadn't done CEGEP. So at McGill, my program would have been 5 years and it would have also been direct entry. And so I had applied to like bioengineering at McGill and
Hmm.
I was starting to question that. So I was like, I don't want to commit to that. And it's also 5 years and it's also pretty far from home.
Yeah.
So that that had narrowed down that option. And then U of T was like an incredible opportunity. Um, but I think, and it had a common first year as well. But I didn't love being in a really major city for my undergrad. I feel like I wanted like a campus feeling. I wanted a feeling of like the school is like the big part of what like the
Yeah.
campus. So it was on every school was a great choice. You cannot like really go wrong. But for me, Western ticked all of my boxes. Everyone I talked to who went to Western had a great experience. It was also Western's 2 hours from my home, which was a nice distance for me. I was coming out of high school in the peak of COVID, so it was like a little bit of uncertainty. I
Yeah.
didn't know how far I wanted to go away from home. So the 2 hour distance was nice. And then ultimately, the dual degree is what sold me because I really liked the broadness of opportunity that that would give me. I really did not want to close any doors. Okay, yes, for sure. I would say I'm going to start with students who are entering university, maybe in the upper years of high school. I would say do not be afraid to get involved. When you get to campus, there's going to be a lot of things that you might feel like I don't know, maybe you're behind other students, maybe it's just everything's new and you don't know if everyone else is feeling the same like feelings of imposter syndrome that you're feeling. But all of that, do not be afraid to just put yourself out there. The earlier you put yourself out there in university, join the design team you feel like you might not be qualified for, apply to the club you think is cool and you would want to be a part of. Just literally put yourself out there in any way because it's going to pay off and it's going to make your 4 years incredible and give you like the experience that you want from university. So don't let fear or anything like that stop you. Just go for it. And I have faith that it'll turn out for you. Um, and then for students in high school or who are considering a career in the STEM field, um, I would say stay very curious and open-minded. Take as many like science classes as you can. Keep your doors open. When there's things like if your school has different clubs and teams that are geared towards the STEM field, whether it be science Olympiad, maybe like a math Olympiad team, um, robotics, anything like that, look into them. I think when you're in high school, you're trying to find a little bit about what interests you. And so it's really a great time to try everything. Um, yeah, that would be my advice. It's kind of similar to both, but yeah, definitely try everything.